What is up, guys? Israel back at it again with another video. Today I'm utilizing this mic, trying to see how to figure out how to use this. But anyway, as I'm gonna figure out how to use this mic and make the quality better on the audio, I'm gonna be talking about things to watch out for when you're living on campus. So let's get right into that. So when you're moving on campus, there's one thing that is very important, and it's the food. Okay, that's one of the biggest things when living on campus, and that's something that I need to discuss, as I've discussed in my 5 things I wish I knew about Binghamton. But this is something, again, that's pretty huge, and if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch it while also having this video up as well. But nevertheless, when you're living on campus, you are required to have a meal plan. So that said, there's always an option on whether to have more money in your meal plan or have the basic. So I've stuck around with doing the basic, and it was a mistake for me my first year, because even though the food will be not as expensive, you see 30 cents for a piece of chicken or $1 for a piece of chicken, you're like, oh, that's great value, and you start, going overboard. So what I failed to do is budget, and it's important to budget, and it's important for you to learn how to budget. And what's awesome is now on campus, I can't remember if it's the ISC, the Information Students Club, that did it. I know some group of students were able to make a software where you're able to budget, so you don't even have to worry about that. So once I find it, I'm gonna put it in the description of this video, because that is so key. I use that to see how much money I'll have by the end of the semester, so that I don't have to put in more money. I say check out your bill as well to see how much you're paying for stuff, because it was a surprise for me. But again, what you need to know about the food is you need to have a meal plan, and by utilizing the software created by these students, wonderful students, I love this thing, check out your budget, because you will be going down in a whirlwind when you see those prices and you think it's good. However, you need to know, again, where to get the best food, because you can't be going to the marketplace spending $10 every day, because that'll lower your money a lot. So it's important for you to go to either Hinman, Newing at certain times. I already have my stance on this. Go check out the food when I talked about my 5 things I regretted. But just know that there's certain spots on campus that have better food than others, better dining halls. So it's important to check that out, especially while you're living on campus, because it could get treacherous out there. This is a big thing too, because I just got hit with a fine. So when you move into your room, please take before pictures of your dorm room, because you will, if you didn't get, I didn't get hit my first year with any fine whatsoever, okay? Because I even took photos before and after, and my room was already like, these rooms are not always made to perfection every year. There's going to be holes in the wall. There's going to be things like that, because people put, whatever they want on the wall, whatever they want on the floor, on the table, whatever. And these buildings have been around for a while. You know what I mean? It's not the Dickinson community if you're living in Newing, where everything's new and lavish for the most part, right? So it's important for you to take those photos so that you can have documentation that, hey, you didn't do anything and it's already been there. And so that is very important, because you will get hit with those silly. Be a little wary about putting stuff on your wall, because the fire marshal will come to visit your room to see if you meet the qualifications for having stuff that aren't flammable in your room, that doesn't start a fire and stuff like that. Coupled with the university having their own people come over from your respective dorm hall, your hall, to come up to each individual room and check it and see if it also meets the standard. So make sure when that happens and stuff like that, so that you're all set for the year and you don't have to worry about that. And yeah, so that's very important as well. And so it's just taking care of your room, making sure to take these photos and making sure that you're not fined or that you're caught for anything, because it could be an extra expense that could have been completely avoided. And it's important to know, for real. For real, because those fines could be upwards to $500. So be wary. It's important for you to also just take advantage of being on campus and being able to go back to your dorm right away and not have to worry about parking. But if you have a car and you're like, oh, I thought I could bring it up freshman year, well, no, you can't do that. You're going to have to rely on a lot of Ubers, and there is going to be important for you to make friends or find people that are reliable enough to pay you back, so that when you take these Ubers, they're a lot less because you're able to split the fee to go to shopping, to go to partying, whatever that you want to do. But if you do have a car, the only way that you're going to be able to have it on there is if you have a disability, or if you have some sort of reason that you're able to have it there, that you have to send an email to or a letter to the school. But let's say now you're second year where you're able to bring your car. Once you're able to bring your car, this is where it gets interesting, because you're going to have to pay a fee, parking fee, just to have it for the whole year. But even then, you may not even have the option to park where you really want to park. For example, I was in Newing, and so I wanted to park by the Newing lot because it made it very easy for me to go to my dorm room, to go to my car, get groceries, get whatever I wanted, go wherever I wanted to go. But the Newing lot can get pretty packed because it is a pretty big lot, but think about the amount of students that are there and the amount of cars that each student probably has, right? So it's going to be difficult to find parking. But if you want to know the best time to park in the Newing lot, and this is the only time that I know, because if you're not able to go in the Newing lot, which I hated, but I never had to, I've always gotten a spot in the Newing lot, thank God. But the best time to go in the Newing lot, so that you don't have to go to Mountain View, to Dickinson to find a spot and then walk all the way to your dorm room, is between the hours. Now, obviously, in the morning will be very beneficial, because some people park their car there just so they could go to class and they don't stay there, but most of the cars there will be residential for those who are living on campus their second year. So I would say go in there between the hours of from 10 to 2. I found to have the most success, and also from the hours of 5 to 8, because once it gets to the nighttime, there are cars that tend to leave, but a lot of them, of course, because of residential, tend to stay there as well. So those are the hours that worked for me if you don't want to deal with parking, and that's a big thing. Now, I only know Newing because that's where I lived, so you're going to have to figure out how Mountain View works if you live there, or Dickinson and stuff like that, or Hinman. But the parking situation, you should know, is definitely that it's tough. It is a tough way. It's tough to get parking, and it's something that you should definitely know if you're a second year student, or if you're a first year student that you didn't know that you couldn't bring a car. So either way, that's very important to have. Also, when you're living on campus, if you really want to effectively get to know everybody on campus and be somebody on campus and kind of know what your direction is, you cannot be staying in the room all day. You can bring your console, you could bring your computer, whatever, but I suggest that you should leave that for the very end, especially when you're first entering college. You need to go to every single thing that you can go to that sounds interesting, at least, and meet as many people as possible. That should be the number one priority for you, because once you get to know and establish relationships, then throughout your college experience, it will exponentially give you greater return and enjoy your entire experience, even though you're going to be in debt, so it leverages out, it makes the whole experience just that much better. And with that being said, if that is something, if going into fraternity or sorority is something that's up your alley, then hey, go ahead and do it. But it's important for you to realize that there are dues associated with them. I didn't know that until I really went into it. So ask and go about doing that, because if you're not financially able, there's only so much that you can do. But that's not a means to stop you, because there are ways to pay it slowly or do whatever you want, But I think it's important, if you are going into either the sorority or the fraternity space, to know that there are dues associated with it, and there's obviously storylines associated with every different one. So that's why it's important for you to go out, so that you can learn and understand what you're getting into, whether it be that or just a club in general, because everything has their has their group, everything has their story and everything like that. So I already covered parking, I covered living in the dorm, and I covered eating, and I covered some social life. So I guess some last advice here to round off living on campus, it would be to enjoy the experience as much as possible by going out and meeting people and stuff like that, but also to realize that time goes by really quickly. And now that I'm going to be off campus, I'm going to be missing out from those things that would happen on campus, those things that would happen on my floor or in my hall, all the funny things that happen, all the interesting things that happen, whether it be drama or not. It's something to savor and something to think about for the rest of your life. And even though I say go out and explore as much as possible, which what you should do, you should also, whenever you're in the dorm, get to know everybody that is on your floor at least, or if that's something that you're interested in. But try to do that, because when I did that my first year, it really changed everything. It made my whole experience a lot better. And like I said, there's always ups and downs, but these are things that you have to experience. You have to get uncomfortable in order to enjoy the entirety of college and the entirety of your life in general. So I would just say that enjoy it as much as possible. And you're going to make a lot of mistakes, but the mistakes are going to help you elevate you. And I'm here to try to help you, go around those mistakes while being in Binghamton. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And if there's anything else that you're interested in, please let me know in the comments as well. I'm here to help. I'm thinking of new stuff to talk about. So that's basically it. That's a little bit to know while being on campus. Those are like kind of the essential things. There's always more minute details, like where to study and stuff like that. That is up to you. However, I think the best place to study is really Bartle, or either Bartle or Science Library. But for me, study area doesn't matter. I just kind of lock in if I'm alone. That's the big thing for me, to be alone and for me to figure out my ideas to myself. But everybody's different. So with that being said, if you have any of those type of questions, let me know in the comments. Let me know, because that will help me help you. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Israel signing off. Peace out.